Hello, you beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of The Soulful Self. My name is Hannah, I'm your host, and today I am going to be finishing off the chakra series with one last episode to wrap up everything that we talked about. And I just want to share in one of the most beautiful insights I had on my most recent ayahuasca journey that I've been waiting to share with you guys for so long. I'm sorry this episode took so long. I had some personal stuff in my life going on, and that could be a whole nother episode all on its own, so I won't get into details, but I just needed a minute for myself. So this year, my podcast is going to be a really big focus for me. It's part of my resolution because I really want to focus on inviting more guests to be on the podcast and to expand it even more for you guys. Maybe a little rebranding as I shift into this next phase of my life, becoming a holistic practitioner. But again, all of this could be a whole another episode, so I'm not going to get into it right now. But I just wanted to talk to you guys about the chakras. So, if you haven't already, I really suggest going back to the beginning and listening to all the chakra episodes in order from the root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown in order. There is so much insight, so much wisdom, and I just think what they all represent, how they all flow together, how they tie everything in our life to some sort of physical part of the body. There is so much ancient wisdom in that, and I think it's really going to revolutionize the next level of where we take health. And not that any of this is new, this is all such old information, and I think it's something that we really lost touch with over years. We turned to modern medicine, we turned to outsourcing all this information from things outside of us when the answers for ourselves, our own personal journeys, all really lie within. And deep check-ins, deep inner knowing, deep awareness of our energy, of how things are flowing in our bodies, and being able to say like, oh, I feel an imbalance in my root chakra. I've been really struggling with money or my family or feeling stable, feeling secure. Maybe I need to check in and do some work around that. Or, oh, my throat. I keep getting a sore throat. I keep losing my voice. I keep having all these issues. Maybe there's something I need to say and I'm holding back. Maybe you struggle with your thyroid, and maybe that is a sign that you're not sharing your voice, you're not speaking your truth, and our body will give us physical symptoms to get our attention when there's deeper meanings, deeper issues going on in our body, whether it be emotional, mental, spiritual. And physical shows up because it gets our attention because we feel that physical pain. And if we're not in tune with our emotions, with our mental state, and our spiritual connection, it can be really easy to not notice those little signs and symptoms as they show up. So we wait for so long that things have to manifest into a physical form, whether it be physically being out of balance, our issues with our hormones. I think it is absolutely no coincidence that in our endocrine system, which is what makes our hormones in the body, there is a piece of this system that is tied to every single chakra. And it's just so interesting to me because hormones are the messengers in the body. Like, they have such an important role in our health and well-being and how our body communicates with itself in different ways. So in the root chakra, we have the adrenal glands, which are cortisol, adrenaline, and epinephrine. So these hormones are really important for things like fight or flight, blood sugar regulation, safety and survival stress responses. Duh, it just makes so much sense that it would line up with the root chakra. Then we have the sacral chakra. These are our ovaries if we're a woman, or testes if we are a man. And these hormones, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, they have to do with your menstrual cycle, your libido, your fertility, which is connected to your creativity, pleasure, sensuality. Like if you're in the mood, if you're never in the mood, you struggle with your libido and your hormones are all out of whack, or if you have really shitty periods, there's a really, really good chance, almost indefinitely, that there's an issue going on with your sacral chakra. Your solar plexus chakra is connected to your pancreas, which has to do with insulin and blood sugar balance, which has to do with your confidence, personal power, metabolism, digestion. When we have a blood sugar balance that's all over the map, and your blood sugar swings gut and lead to gut issues, which leads to low self-esteem because maybe we're gaining a lot of weight, maybe we're having all these internal issues that cause to like puffiness and all these things that happen when we have issues with our gut, that makes us feel not confident in ourselves physically, like when you look in the mirror, but that's also a reflection of how you feel inside mentally, emotionally, and spiritually as well. The heart chakra has to do with the thalamus gland, the thymus gland, and this is for immune regulation, our immune health. When we have chronic issues, our immune system is suppressed. It's often tied to grief or lack of love and compassion and love for ourselves, because if we're not properly taking care of ourselves and doing the things we know are good for ourselves, one of the first things that's going to happen is our immune system's going to drop. We're getting sick more often. We're having all these issues. For our throat chakra, this is connected to our thyroid and parathyroid gland, and this has to do with T3, T4, parathyroid hormone, and our calcium balance. So this has to do with our metabolism and temperature regulation. It also has to do with expression, truth, and communication. So maybe because a lot of people have issues with their thyroid and it's rather hypo, which is an underactive thyroid. So maybe you're not using your voice, you're not speaking up when you need to, whereas hyper or overactive thyroid may be aligned, may be manifesting when you don't know when to shut up, when you're overstepping boundaries, when you're being, I don't want to say too much because I don't like telling anybody that they're too much, but learning to not overstep all the time, not indulge in people's business, drama, gossiping, things like that. The third eye chakra is connected to the pituitary gland or the master gland, and this gland has to do with the ACTH hormone, TSH hormone, LH, FSH, and our growth hormones, which is our overall endocrine coordination. It has to do with our intuition, perception, and inner guidance. Because the pituitary gland controls all the other glands, an imbalance in your pituitary gland can have such a ripple effect through the entire system. And I think that's so true for our third eye chakra in its entirety, because it's our imagination, it's our inner vision, and there's so many people who struggle with blocks of their third eye chakra, not to anybody's fault of their own, but it's not taught to follow your intuition, to tap into that, how to work with that and grow that relationship with yourself, with spirit, with God, with energy. And I think because we're lacking that so much, it would just make so much sense as to why we have so many different issues tied to this. And the last but not least is the crown chakra, which is tied to our pineal gland, and the function is melatonin. No shit that this is connected to melatonin. That's what helps us sleep. When we have deep sleeps, we're astral traveling, we're having dreams, we're getting messages from our dreams, we feel more connected to our spiritual self. It has to do with consciousness, spiritual connection, and circadian rhythm, our sleep and wake cycles. Disrupted sleep often creates a lot of issues and spiritual disconnection because we're not getting that rest. Our body can't recalibrate and do all the things it needs to do if we're having shitty sleeps all the time. It has a really big effect on our health, but just not being able to go into that dream state, or say you're laying there trying to fall asleep at night and you can't fall asleep, your mind's racing, your mind's wandering, you're going all over these places. And if your crown chakra is overactive, you're not grounded into your body, all your energy's in your mind, can be very dangerous in another way, because this can pull up negative thought patterns, all these other issues. So tell me I'm wrong, but like there's no way there's a coincidence that at one of each of these glands, hormone glands, endocrine glands, is tied to each one of the chakras that aligns with the issues or the energy that the chakra is tied to. You can't make that shit up. You couldn't even plan that out even better if you tried. It's so divine, and I think there is so much wisdom here that we need to take advantage of, that we need to tap into, which is one of the reasons why I am so deeply passionate about the chakras and I wanted to do this overall series with you guys. So I'm going to share about this insight that I have, because it was one of these moments in my life where it was like I had a light bulb moment and I was like, oh, that is so cool. And I never looked at it that way before. So when you learn the chakras, you start with the bottom and you work your way up, because think about it. You need to start with the roots. You need to have a strong foundation. You need to have those strong roots so that you can build upon on this energy, right? Like you need to feel stable, you need to feel secure, or you're not going to have success in these other energies. It's going to be really hard to keep them balanced. So you learn from the bottom up, and it makes a lot of sense when you're learning it from the bottom up how they all like add upon each other, and by the end it creates this whole system. But when we're using our chakras in order to create something, we actually use them from the top down. And I had this most beautiful vision of, we get an idea. And I talked about this in the episode of the crown chakra, where I'm saying like it's not a coincidence that people have these like divine inspirations, these ideas to create these certain things, like the Spider-Man movies, like all these all this information that's starting to be birthed into this world about dimensions, about spirituality, about all these different things. Like science is going in a new direction. All these ideas are coming through. It's not a coincidence, because our brain is like a radio. We're tuning into these frequencies and we're attaching to these ideas, these insights that are at the same vibration in which we are vibrating at. It's a match to us energetically, and we get gifted this seed, this idea, this inspiration, and it starts in the crown chakra. So you have this idea, and then you move this idea into your third eye and you visualize it, and you start to create this idea to be even deeper. You can see it, you can understand how you need to put the pieces together. Then you move it into your throat chakra, which is all about creation in a verbal way, but you have to start talking about it, planning it, and you're excited about it. Maybe you're sharing it with people, maybe you're finding people to help you in this project. You're getting it out physically into the world through speaking it into existence. Maybe you're writing it down on a piece of paper to help start the grounding process. Okay. And then you move it into your heart, and your heart has to be in it, because you can have 1,000,000 ideas. You can visualize 1,000,000 ideas and even talk about it. But if it can't come into your heart space, if it's not something that you're truly passionate about, that you truly love, that you truly want to put your energy in, if it's not in alignment with your purpose, it's going to fall off the bandwagon. You're going to lose that inspiration. You're not going to take the aligned action to actually bring that into this world, because maybe it wasn't fully meant for you. Maybe it wasn't something you were ready for, or something you've lost interest in, and that's okay, because there is a million thousand ideas out there. So if we can't get it past our heart, we're going to lose it. And then we bring it into our solar plexus. This is all about confidence, right? We have this idea, we love this idea, we're ready to create this idea, and we need the confidence behind it. We need the drive, we need the power, we need the fire under our ass to get shit done, right? Because there's going to be distractions, there's going to be obstacles, there's going to be all these things that can come into our way. We have to know we're worth it. We have to know we can do it. We have to have confidence in who we are and what we want to do to get to that next level. Then comes your sacral chakra. And this is especially beautiful because, especially as a woman, we can birth not just babies into this world. We are birthing ideas into this world. So this energy is coming into our creative womb space. It's growing a little energetic baby that is your project or your business or a baby or whatever it is that you have been manifesting. And then we have to root it into the physical world. We have to birth it into the physical world and ground it on this earth. We have to plant its roots so that it can be here physically. And it has to go through every single, through this channel, through every chakra for it to start as an idea and end up as a physical thing in this world. And I just think that is so beautiful. So yes, we have to learn them from the bottom up, but we actually use them from the top down. So I think it's really, really important to know this and understand this, because if there's something you're trying to create, but it keeps not happening for you, maybe you're trying and you don't succeed, maybe you can't figure out how to do it, whatever it may be, whatever the block is, whatever the bump in the road is, chances are there's a block somewhere in your chakras and it's not being able to go completely through this whole channel. Or maybe our channel is open, but it's small because all of our chakras are a little underactive. And so we can get it here, but maybe it's not its full potential. Maybe we didn't put as much energy into it that we could have. Maybe it could have been that one step better if we were paying more attention to all of our chakras. And maybe our chakras are way too overactive. Maybe we can manifest things into our life so fucking fast. You think about it and it's here in the physical world, but maybe it's not really what you want. Maybe it's like the pipe is too big and things are just falling out and you're like, shit, I don't really want that. So when your chakras are aligned and they're in a healthy energy and they are there to help you manifest all these things, to bring your thoughts into reality, whether it be something you're going to create, whether it be whatever you want to manifest, literally anything. We are the creators of our reality, right? We're in this game of life. It is a matrix, it is a game, and it has to do with everything that we think, everything that we believe, everything that we are ingesting mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. All these things combined make our physical reality what is real for us, what is grounded in our reality. And this is such a gift to know and to understand. There's so much power here, so much knowledge here. And I think by learning about the chakras, tuning into this energy, doing a check-in with yourself, maybe every day, every few days, whatever you feel you need to check in, tune in, so that if something's out of balance, you can focus on it and fix the problem right away and not let it fester for so long that it becomes a physical illness, a physical disease, a physical problem. And noticing if you do have some sort of physical problem, that the chances are it's because there's a block there, it's because there's an issue there, and to look at ourselves and understand ourselves as the energetic beings that we are, that there's so much more than just this physical reality. You know, even looking at auras, like there are different layers to our auras, there are different levels to our auras, and I think lots of people aren't even accessing all that energy and all the power that it can really have, because we get so stuck in the physical. It's like, what can I see? What can I touch? What do I know is true because it's right in front of me? But energy can't lie, and energy is so fucking real. It is so fucking real. And having this deeper wisdom, this deeper insight gives you a magical fucking power. It gives you the gift of manifesting. It gives you insights into where you need growth, the obstacles that you need to overcome, and nobody's perfect. We're all going to have blocks. We're all going to have issues, and mine are going to be different than yours, and yours are going to be different from the next person's. But it's important because our souls signed up for these lessons. Our souls signed up for these bumps in the road. But right now, we are living on an earth who was not where we were not given any tools on how to navigate these bumps properly. And then we just fall off the face of the earth and we're like in these dark holes we can't get out of because nobody's shining the light. Nobody's handing us the ladder to climb out. So I think that's why all this stuff is so, so important. So that's pretty much it for my conclusion on the chakras. I just think they are so beautiful. It is ancient wisdom. These have been taught for thousands of years before Jesus was even crucified. So the fact that this wisdom is that old, I think just makes it that much more special and something that we really should be taking seriously and trying to incorporate it into our lives as much as we can. It's pretty simple once you can understand the energy of each one. And I think that it will really help you understand yourself better, but also others, and have maybe more compassion for everybody, as we have to remember that everybody's trying to navigate their own journey. Everybody has their own struggles, their own issues. And all we can do is try and send as much love and light to everybody who needs it and just try to be a better person than you were yesterday. So, thank you so much for being here. Again, I'm so sorry this episode took me so long to get it out. Maybe I will make a life update as to what the fuck just happened in my life the last few weeks. Um, but I'm back and I'm here. And this year, I would really like to put a lot of energy into my podcast because I love this platform. I love you guys. And I love to sit here and talk. So, thank you. Happy 2026. It's the year of one. It's time for new beginnings. And I myself am really ready for the new beginnings. So, cheers to you all. I love you all so much. And I'll see you next week. Bye.